Hello, everybody. So we got some people in the chat already. Let me fix this where I can see the chat. Pretty good. Okay. Hi, Joshua. Mrs. G, your favorite auntie. Child, you're here early. Hi, Catherine. Miss M, you're early too. Yay. Hi, Kelly. How are you? How's everyone doing this fine Wednesday evening? Are y'all getting some spring weather? We're having some spring weather for the first time in a while because it got hot. And so this week has been actually spring. It was 72 today. So 76. Sorry. Oh, thanks, Pam. You like my polka dots? They're supposed to be real hot this year, polka dots. So, um, Miss M said it was nice today in my area of Indiana. That's nice. It's been such a hard winter for y'all. So, um, I know that, I mean, it just went from cold to straight to hot. We had one day that was it was 99 degrees. It was just like, is it going to hit 100 degrees in March? But it cooled off, and this week it's been like high 50s at night and 70s during the day. So I am enjoying the weather. Now it's supposed to rain this weekend, and I'm a little bummed out. I'm going on a ladies' retreat. I'm leaving Friday. It's a spiritual retreat for women in recovery, and I am excited because this is the first retreat I've been to in I don't know how long that I don't have anything to do. I'm not doing a workshop. I'm not speaking. I'm not on the committee. I'm not nothing. I'm just going to go and I'm going to soak it up. And I will report back to y'all next Wednesday. So I am going on a ladies' retreat. It's at Lake Brownwood, which is about 3 hours south of here. And leave on Friday and come back on Sunday. And there's a speaker Friday night and a speaker Saturday night. And there's workshops on Saturday. And then we have our little spiritual Sunday morning service and we leave. So, hi, Rosani. How are you doing? It is going to be fun, Em. I think I'm more excited because I don't have any responsibilities at this. And um, I haven't gone to this one retreat in 2 years. This is their 50th anniversary of having this retreat. So there'll be a big bash and all that sort of stuff. And so I'm really excited. I get to see a friend of mine that I don't get to see very often. She's coming up from South Texas. So thank you, Mrs. G. Mrs. J said, you're looking lovely tonight, Miss Rhonda. I don't know. I had a wild day at work. You know, I work in a counseling office on Wednesdays, and man, it started early this morning, and yeah, I was knee deep in alligators, I call it today. So, I thought, am I just going to be worn out? But I'm really not that tired. I was tireder last week than I am this week. So um, maybe kind of got my second wind. It's going to be fun, Mrs. G. I'm going to have to tell y'all all about it. So I have been so busy. I need to get caught up on some YouTube videos. I haven't seen Pam's Bible study last one, and I'm missing people's lives, and I don't know. It's been a crazy week. I had company. My son came in for Easter with his fiance for Easter, and then Monday we went over to the jewelers and took it was a ring that was their dad's, and well, it actually had originally belonged to their grandfather, and Bobby didn't know that. He just knew it was his dad's, and he's going to have that made and take the top of it and make it into a band, and that's going to be his wedding band. But they wanted to go to the jeweler I use here. We've known him a long time, and he's really good. So we took all the stuff over there. So that was exciting. So Easter was great. We watched Wicked. I've not seen any of that. And I can remember this time of year, we always watched The Wizard of Oz. So I guess it was in fashion to watch Wicked. It was pretty interesting. It was funny. We watched the first one, and my husband looked at me and said, "So, is the second one going to be a musical?" And I said, "Yeah, I would bet it's going to be a musical." Hi, Kimberly. How are you doing this evening? Thanks for joining us. Y'all keep Miss Paula in your prayers. She has not been feeling really well. Anyway, just keep her in your prayers. And I know that her niece had surgery today, and we were praying for her. So just keep Miss Paula in your prayers. She's had ear infection and some, I don't know. She's just not been feeling very. You did, Miss M. You saw her post. I didn't see her post. She texted me and said she would be on tonight. She's going to bed, I think. You don't like musicals, Mrs. G. I'm not a fan, really, but I suffered through that one because it heard so much about it, and it kind of did end up having the second one I thought was better than the first, but that's me because they tie it all up with the Wizard of Oz. And oh, Kelly loves musicals. I think that musicals were a movie from the past, and I can remember all those old movies and musicals of where they danced and they sang, and so she posted about stopping her walking challenge. I bet she did. She's been just not been feeling good. So Mrs. G said, "Yes, I just texted Miss Paula and reminded her to rest and drink plenty of fluids." Yes, yes, it's important to take the time out to take care of ourselves. And I've been really busy, and so I haven't pushed myself to be sure that I watch all my regulars, and some of y'all on here are my regulars. So, thank you, Miss M. Praying, Miss M said I will be praying for Paula. So, um, all right, we're about 8 minutes in. Usually, when I kind of throw out my topic, and I heard a little different slant on this word, whatever, and I loved it. So, I think when we think about, are you saying, do you say whatever? I know that, my kids, probably the first time I ever heard it said like this was, my older son, and I tell him something and roll his eyes and go, whatever, whatever. You hear it a lot. And that's kind of the way that when we think of whatever, that is what we think of is whatever. And it's kind of a little sarcastic reply to something you don't really want to hear. It's the way I think about it. Whatever, it's a good way to try to end the argument or start an argument or or whatever. So but I know that like, I like whatever. Hi, Kristen. Whatever. I know you haven't ever said this. Whatever. So, but I know that like I said, my kids used it. I had friends that used it. You heard it all the time. And when I got into recovery, I was such a control freak that it was suggested that when I get up in the morning, instead of praying for God to help me or do for me what I couldn't do for myself, is to just say, whatever, God. And so the whatever, God, became kind of my, thing to learn to let go and let God, which was a very important thing. But I heard something real different this week from a friend about the whatever verse. And I thought, what is that? And she told me, she said, it's the verse in the Bible, the verse. It's the whatever verse. And it's Philippians 4:8. And it says, finally, brethren, whatever things are true, whatever things are honest, whatever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are of good rapport. If there be any virtue and if there be any praise, think on these things. And so I thought that was really great. The whatever verse. And, with so much stuff going on in our world today, and, I don't watch the news, but I still hear enough about it. And it's like one side complaining about this one or that one or the decisions made or, or whatever. And it reminded me this week to think about whatever things are true, whatever things are pure, whatever things are of good rapport. Think on these things. And so, I've kind of, since I heard that early this week, I've been just whatever, whatever. And I really meditated on this verse. I thought it would be a great topic for the life because we don't think about, that whatever. It means whatever things are that are good and honest and pure. So, okay, Catherine said my ex-in-laws hosted a teen from Sweden once, and she picked up on the whatever. She said whatever in a Swedish accent. I bet that was right. That was great. But I think that sometimes if we just change our mindset a little bit about one word, and uh, I know that, well, and I don't hear teenagers so much doing the whatever, or I don't hear that so much anymore, but, my husband said it to me. But I think that next time I hear anybody say whatever, I'm going to, whatever things are honest, whatever things are pure, whatever things are of good rapport, whatever things are just, um, whatever things are lovely. It's just such a great mind shift to think about these things. And I just really, bruh, they do, don't they, Kristen? Bruh. I don't know, can't keep up. It's like they have a whole new language that I don't know what they're speaking. And then, on here, they use all the acronyms, and I have to ask. Yeah, they do, bro. Oh, or yo, sup. It's, well, I don't know what's up. Uh, it is kind of, oh yeah, the 6 7 um B plus. What's the B plus, Kimberly? But I just thought that was real interesting to take a word and think about it in a different light, to shift that word. And so I don't think it has a meaning, Kristen. 6 7. Joshua said, I just got a newer neck fan. That's great, Joshua. Be positive. Oh, okay. Be positive. Oh, that I see those little bees, and that's my best friend saying hello from the other side. She was all about bees because it was like just bee. And so she had the little bumblebees were her thing. And so every time I see a bee, I think of my friend Jeanette. And she's sending me a message from the other side. I can at least somewhat talk about it now in a light manner. It just was not an easy loss for me. Miss M said, and this is fire and this is bussin'. Yeah, yep, that's fire. I'm like, oh no, whatever. Hey, Evie, weather, work, play, live, TV. Hey, what's up? First time here on my live? Hail Auntie, your favorite Auntie child. She's here. How are you doing, Evie? How's your arm? Josh says, I bet Mrs. G needs one. Yeah, she probably does. That fan, if it goes around your neck and it blows in your face, that would be pretty awesome. Keeping you cool. Hunna child. Yes, Hunna child. There's no D on it, Miss M. It's Hunna child. Miss M, your favorite auntie. So anyway, Miss G said, pretty awesome, Joshua. So we were talking, Evie, about whatever. I don't know if you heard, but I read the whatever verse, and it says, brethren, whatever things are true, whatever things are honest, whatever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are of good rapport, you know, if there be any virtue and if there be any praise, think on these things. So um it really did shift my thinking about whatever. It does, Miss M, but that's the way she says child. Pam says, I feel so behind now after being gone for 6 days. It's like the train took off without me. Yeah, and you just sometimes you just got to let some of them go. And then about the time you think, then you've got a little bit of time and you can catch up. Miss M said, the train left you at the station, Pam. Pam said, that's a very awesome verse. It is. And I wrote the one after that because it says, those things which you have both learned and received and heard and seen in me, do, and the God of peace shall be with you. So it's telling me that do these things, to think on these things, and they're all positive. It's not the normal negative bias where, I can have a whole bunch of good stuff happen in one icky thing, or somebody can give me I can get all these compliments, and one person says something about, why don't you color your hair? Which somebody left me that comment on one of my videos. Why don't you color your hair? I put, because I don't want to. So, Mrs. G said, Rhonda is picking, LOL. Miss M said, oh, okay, Miss G. Yeah, and then Pam said, I did Miss M with a little choo-choo train on it. And Kimberly left me another B positive. I love it. I love it. I probably do need a neck fan. It would keep me cooled off this summer because I have a feeling we're going to have a pretty hot summer. I just, man, it gets over 100, and that's too much for me. And we usually always get in the low hundreds, but man, I've lived here a long time. I've seen 118 here. That's a little much for me. Just a little too hot. Whatever, right? Miss M said, I have a mini fan to keep in my purse. Is it like battery operated? When we go camping, I have this water bottle, and it has a spray top on it with the fan on the front of it. And you spray that water in that fan. blows on you with the. So Mrs. G said it's going to get hot. Is it humid there where more humid where you live? Jean, is it Mrs. G? I mean, I would think it's a little more humid. I know that probably Kimberly's probably a little more humid. So, what do I do when it gets super hot? Not a lot. I stay in the house under the air conditioner. I mean, when it's that hot, you can't hardly get in your car because you can't touch the steering wheel, even if you've had the shade up because the sun, it is so hot. Oops, do you have an AC? Yes, ma'am. I sure do. I got that. We've already ran our air conditioner. It got to 99 degrees here a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, we were running our air conditioner. Kristen said, I've been saying whatever a lot and picking my battles. So many family moments lately. That's that's a nice way to put it. Family moments, intense moments of fellowship. So Miss M said it's a little blue fan that has a USB port to charge your phone. Joshua, that's great. Miss, stay inside running errands in the morning. That's right. You got to get out there early. And then it's, 80 degrees. And at night, it's still, 90 something degrees at 10 o'clock at night. Miss Sam said, whatever. Pam said, yeah, I bet. Crazy. Joshua, how much was that, Miss M? So, yeah, but those, I tell you, fan, it moves the air around. That's for sure. Of course, I sleep with a fan year round blowing. I, I have for, I don't know, all my life, I think. From the time first I got married, 18 on, I've slept with a fan because it's a lot for noise because I'm a real light sleeper. And back then they didn't have, the little white noise thing. You just had a box fan. And I have an app on my phone that sounds like a fan. And that I can run, if my hubby gets to snoring too loud, wakes me up, I can turn on my fan app and it drowns him out because it has this thing to select what you want to drown out, and I'm snoring. So now all the world knows my husband snores. I think I do too, but I'm never awake to hear it. So I don't know. I sleep right through my snoring. Oh, Catherine said she sleeps with a fan all year long too. Abby said that's funny. I don't. My snoring doesn't bother me. I'm asleep. Oh my goodness. Did you give us a report on your arm, Evie? So thank you, Mrs. G. I've got one. I wanted to get it made yesterday, and nope, nope. I've got everything planned to make it, and all I got to do is sit down and make it because I wanted to get on a schedule that every Thursday I wanted to post my videos, my long form. And I've kind of gotten a schedule. I do the live on Wednesday, I post a short on Monday. So I wanted to post a long form on Thursday, but I didn't get it made. And I'm going to do a series on relationships about the things that are detrimental to relationships. And so Miss Sim said, I'm so far behind on Rhonda's videos. I will watch some this weekend. I appreciate it. It's an app on your phone, Mrs. G. Where is it? What's it called? Where is it? See, it says bedtime fan. You click it, See, and you can have low, medium, or high. You want to hear it? Oh man, it's giving me fits. Can you hear it? Whatever, phone. Is that not cool? Here, I can turn my phone up on high. It gets loud, Mrs. G. Oh, you get, well, yeah, I still have the real thing, Miss M. But this is just noise. No, no. Well, I have a real fan. I have a ceiling fan, and then I have a stand-up fan that blows. And then, which is usually good. But every once in a while, and it's like I'll just roll over and I'll flip that thing on and turn it up as loud as I can and face my phone where I can hear that fan and it drowns it out. Try it, Mrs. G. It's free download. Bedtime fan. Free download for your phone. Now they'll offer you to pay for different stuff, but I just downloaded the free version and you first click on it and you got to go through the ads and all that stuff that they do. But man, it's like we went, he don't ever hear it, Mrs. G. He's sound asleep, sawing logs. It's like, I don't use the earbuds with my phone. No, that's an idea, but I can't stand those things in. But, you know, and I might want to use that this weekend when I'm on a retreat. Because I know some of those ladies snore. And we're all in a one kind of a, there's not a whole lot of us. There's a cabin and it has two sides. And so I try to get over in the corner somewhere. And if I can hang up a blanket to drown out the light and the sound. So Miss M says she's a heavy sleeper. Well, that's a good thing. I don't know. I'm a light sleeper. I always have been. Just the least little thing can wake me up. Who's Gina? That's Mrs. G's real name. Gina. You're learning all kinds of things about Mrs. G tonight. So Mrs. G's asking him, that's a good thing, right? I think it is, because if you're a light sleeper, Kimberly said I use headphones at night. Yeah, that would work. So, but I don't know, being a light sleeper, I guess I could just say whatever and roll over, right? Oh, and sit there and quote the scripture, because I know that I can remember trying to memorize it, and it's hard to pick out all the whatevers. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 whatevers, and so Miss M said it's a good thing to be a heavy sleeper, and other times it isn't. Now, I could see to where, yeah, uh, but I don't know if my dogs get to making noise. My dogs snore too, so it's a whole bunch of snoring going on up in here, and sometimes all of it's just too much. So I just turn my app on and let her rip. Um, so So what else have y'all been up to? So Miss M said, I need to learn to say whatever to my depression and anxiety, and especially saying whatever to my mind. Yes, ma'am. Memorize the scripture. Mrs. G said, Rhonda, I have to use earplugs every night because he snores so loud. I've been doing this for years. A whole bunch of snoring up in here. Up in here, up in here. Miss M said, let her rip, tater chip. Tater chip. So lots of snoring going on. Well, I don't remember earlier this year, uh, the doctor put him on some sort of medication and it was bad. Bad, bad, bad. Heavening. No, ma'am? So Pam said, Mrs. G, me too. Earplugs every night. Sigh. Catherine said, Rhonda, have you heard of heavening? I have not. Enlighten me. He snored till he got a CPAP. I think my husband might need one of those. Okay. Joshua said, you can ask Google about the GISU Life 3 5-speed neck fan, Rhonda. Okay. Miss Sam said, I'm glad I don't have a husband. Oh, Miss G said, Pam, you too. OMG. Catherine said, it's in therapy like that EMDR therapy. I have not heard of it. I'll have to look it up. I have not. Where is it? You wrote it out. Is that how you pronounce it? Or is it heavening? No, I don't know. ENING. Gentle touch, stroking arms, palms, or face to generate delta waves in the brain. All right. Havening is how it's pronounced. Havening techniques are a psychosensory therapy designed to treat trauma, anxiety, and stress by using gentle touch, stroking arms, palms, or face to generate delta waves in the brain. This process lowers cortisol and releases serotonin, helping to de-link emotional memories from traumatic events and create a sense of calm. So it says, okay, everyone practice. It says, gently stroke down your arm, shoulder to elbow, rub your palms together, or I guess it's a form of it's a distracting relaxation. Visualize calming scenes, walking on a beach, count to 20, hum a tune to create separation from the stressor. Practice 5 to 7 minutes for significant stress. How it works. The touch increases delta waves. So, Miss M, are you listening? Miss M, you're listening, but your mind's going into the gutter. It's kind of a self-soothing technique. I know that this has been 31 years ago. My counselor told me that to take something like a soft, floppy pillow, like a feather pillow that's real floppy, and gather it up to your chest and wrap, and then self-soothe by rubbing your arms like this. I guess he was teaching me that technique, but I wore out a feather pillow. So it does. It sounds like, um, okay, let's catch up. Catherine said, it's acknowledging your feelings and physically feeling your face or hug yourself, etc. Catherine said, yes, either, I guess. And then Mrs. G. Pam, here's the thing. If I so much and sniff or a tiny snore, he is shaking me to wake up. Whatever. Catherine said, I've done it. It takes practice, but it works. I think anything like that, you know, Joshua said it can last 3 hours on the fifth speed and 16 hours on low. That is something, Kristen. Kimberly said, looks like self soothing. Yes. M said, yes. Catherine said, Kim, yes. Pam said, oh boy, Mrs. G, that's the worst. I was in a hotel by myself for 2 days and slept better than I have in years. Joshua said, hey, Catherine, I was telling Rhonda about the neck fan I got. Oh, man. From snoring to havening to whatever. That's you know, that's kind of what we do on this live. We do whatever. So, yes, Mrs. G said, I rock and rub my knees sometimes. It's soothing. Catherine says, sounds cool, Joshua. Miss M. I really needed to be here. My heart was heavy, and we had a cat that. Oh, I'm sorry, Miss M. It's so sad when you lose a pet. It's so hard. So, Mrs. G. Pam, I can imagine you need. Josh was asking you, Catherine, do you have one? Kristen said, I feel like I'm on a roller coaster. So, whee! Hello, Julie. Julie's here joining us this evening. How are you doing, Julie? All of us need a retreat. Take us with you, Rhonda. Well, I'm telling you, I just told you, it may be bad there because sometimes some of those women can snore as loud as my husband does. So, yeah, but y'all come on down. Catherine said, Miss M, I'm so sorry. Miss M said, it is. He was a sweet boy. It's just sad, your pets. I don't know. I just wished I could be the person my pets think I am. They just think I'm wonderful and they come home and they're all excited and all of that. And I'm like, oh. And it's so hard when we lose them. And, and I did a video about this. It's the forgotten grief. You lose a pet and people are like it at first and then they forget and you don't, for a long time sometimes that, every time you come home and they're not there, you think about them. So, yeah, it's so everyone's saying hello to Julie. She's doing well, she said. Kristen said, yep, definitely. Whee! Well, I didn't hear my phone ring. Hello, Kristen, you're having a bad time? Well, tell me about it. Anyway, pet grief is hard. I agree, Julie. It's a hard one. And I think sometimes it drags up some of the other grief along with it. But it's such a hole in your heart for them. Kristen said, I'm so sorry, Miss M. That makes me so sad for you. Yes. Julie's saying hi to Mrs. G, Catherine, and Kristen. Miss M said, oh, thank you, Kristen. Kristen's a little sweetheart. She's saying hi to Julie. Joshua said, when you wear a neck fan, Kimberly, you don't want to get hair near it. I bet not. I bet not. Kristen said, and Rhonda, I couldn't call you. My phone weighs 1,000,000 pounds. Didn't you know? I know. But you don't have to pick it up. You just got to poke my number in there. Put me on speed dial. But I know they weigh 1,000,000 pounds when you're going through something and you need to call your friend. So, Kristen and I have been friends. What? I've known you since you were about what? 12, 13. So she's she's hearing no evil, seeing no evil. Is that over your mouth? Oh, I know. I'm being a little smarty. Whatever. Yes, Miss M, whatever. But yeah, so I don't know. That's what, 30 something years, Kristen? Friends 15 years ago. We did. We did. Yes. Besties. Yes, ma'am. We have traveled many miles together. Many miles. Many miles. All over the place. Going all over the place. So great memories. It is. I have um I have good friend that's been my friend for 39 years. And then I have another friend that we've been friends um 36 years. Still my friends today. Joshua, Kristen said her phone weighs 1,000,000 pounds because I was giving her a hard time about she's been going through a tough time. And giving her a hard time that she hasn't called me because she's going through a hard time. And she said, my phone weighs 1,000,000 pounds, which it's kind of a thing in recovery. You're told to call people, and everybody says, well, the phone weighs 1,000,000 pounds. Julie said that is a healthy number of years. Yes, and that's just two of my longest friends. And I have several that have been my friends for 15, 20 years. Long-term friends. And then I got a whole menagerie of new friends that's phenomenal. I always say, you're one day away from your next best friend. So, your new best friend, and I have a lot of new best friends. And y'all are here. Y'all all show up and support me, and I'll tell you, it's when I don't have time to make my videos, then I think I just need to quit this YouTube stuff. I think, the world won't end if I don't get a video put up. So Miss M said, off topic, after I write a poem, who would want to actually read it? We would. We would want to read it. I've written a few poems. I ran across one that I wrote several years ago. Well, matter of fact, I've been cleaning stuff out. I ran across two that I've written in a long time ago. So Christian said, me. I think that we all would be interested in reading it, Miss M. So Catherine said, Miss M, I'll read it. We would love to hear it. Miss M said, okay, I don't want others to think of me differently. Stop worrying about that. You have no control over what people think of you. I just, when I got that concept that they're going to think what they think, and oftentimes the things that I thought that I would say or tell people that they would think bad about me were the very things that made people love me. Just those things that I didn't want to talk about, that I was ashamed of. And, those are the struggles I had, or and those were the things that I think made people love me, because it made me vulnerable and open and it allowed them to love me just like I was. So Catherine said, "That's right, Rhonda." Kristen said, "I don't judge. You have no idea the things I've done." Isn't that the truth, Kristen? If she only knew. Now, I've talked about some of mine on here, but man, uh, Miss M said, "Thank you, Rhonda," in chat. I was talking to somebody this morning, and I told them, I don't like that, you know, you deserve better, or I deserve better, or I don't deserve that. I was in recovery a long time ago. The sponsor that I had for years told me, you know, we all don't deserve, and but we are worthy. And I thought, well, I hope you're not sitting next to me when I get what I deserve, because you're going to be crispy. But you know what? I'm worthy. I'm worthy of God's love. And there was an ultimate price paid for me that covers all of that stuff. I don't deserve it, but I get to have it through grace. And that is an awesome thing. And it's whatever. Whatever. So, yeah, I was told to get up in the morning because I was a control freak. I needed to pray, whatever, God. And at night, because I was a perfectionist, I needed to go to bed and say, oh, well. Because, I just, there's, when I got to where I accepted myself, faults and all, bad stuff I did, mistakes I made, just accepted it and knew that all of that was covered. And then when God looked at me, all he saw was pureness, whatever things are pure. So, Miss M, okay, Miss M said, "This has been a really good live stream. Bye, Rhonda. Have a great weekend. Bye, chat. Love each and every one of you. Bye, Miss M." Kristen said, "Do they have one, Joshua?" I don't have a fan. I'm always cold. Kimberly said, "Have a good night, Emily." Joshua said, "Do you think you should order a neck fan for Rhonda or find one at Walmart?" My hair would get tangled up in that thing, Joshua. So I just think that maybe I'll just deal with. I have a little uh, small stand up fan that I take with me when I go out of town. Ask Kristen. She's carted me and my fan everywhere. So gotta have that fan. Yep. Little air blowing on me, little noise. So, but that's the way to go. So, do any of y'all have plans this weekend? Kristen, are you going to the Unity Run? I'm sure you are. Hello, Presley. How are you this evening? Thanks for joining my live. So, you're good. That's good. I am too. It's been a good day. I was busy, but this always kind of rejuvenates me. So, Kristen said, "I'm not. I'm trying to find a way to tell Mike I'm not going." Ooh, ooh, oh. Okay. So, Mrs. G is saying hello to Presley. So is Catherine. Presley saying hello to everyone. Catherine said, "Nothing exciting this weekend so far." Well, I don't have anything else on the agenda after this weekend, so it's kind of be my big hurrah for the spring. I'll be wanting to get that RV out and spruce it up. Won't go far. Gas is too high. So but we have a lake that's about 30 minutes from here, and we could pull it out there, camp out there. So Kimberly said no plans. Those are kind of the best weekends, to where you just have nothing going on and no plans. So Kristen said, I finally come to realize the club scene isn't for me. And you know what everybody's going to think? You know what the club scene is? So you're out there going to the bars in a wheelchair. That's what the club scene is. Not to me. She's talking about motorcycle club. So you're gonna throw in the towel on the motorcycle club, huh? Huh. That's a new concept from you. Oh no. Did look, Kristen, look at what Miss G just put. She has not a clue. 369. All right, I'll tell the story. From the window to the walls. We had no plans, but now we are filling in for the worship team due to people being ill. Kristen said, I am. And she said, I'm okay with that. Ha 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 ha. She's laughing at Mrs. G. We were camping, and Kristen and I, we were out by the fire, and I was having back trouble and had some pain pills, and our blow up bed deflated, and it was like a taco, and I got up and I couldn't hardly walk. And so I took a pain pill. Well, I get stupid on pain pills. And so, the movie where, you know, Sandra Bullock is with, I can't even think of her name, Betty White, and she starts dancing around the fire singing, you know, to the window, to the wall. And I'm doing that. And we are laughing, laughing, laughing. Mrs. G said, blow up doll. Oh, my bad. You said blow up bed. I did say a blow up bed, Mrs. G. Oh, my gosh. We're going to talk about blow up dolls all my life. Oh, my goodness. Joshua Duke said it would get caught in her hair. The proposal. That's it. So I guess, Pam, do you like Sandra Bullock movies? Just checking, Rhonda. Okay, Mrs. G. Catherine said, love that movie. Because Pam and I, was it on your live we were talking about? Um, the river house, the boat house, something. Anyway. Oh, she, not Duke. Mrs. G said, yes, Pam, that's it. Love that movie. The proposal. Yes, the lake house. Ah, yes. I really like that movie. Joshua says, I was saying you should look up the one I have, Kristen. So this is Pam. Sandra Bullock is great. Miss Congeniality was fun too. Yeah, that was a good one. So, okay, Kristen said. Well, this says I only have one person here left. So, is that you, Kristen? I think there's more here. Y'all are still chatting, but it says, oh, there's two now. Hope floats, except it was sad. Yes, yeah. What was the one where he was the football player, she was the mom? What was that one called? She was, I know, but my thing says, now it says there's three. There's more than that here. I know there is. I don't know what's up. I think that, I don't know if YouTube's menopausal or something's going on. Blind side. That's it, Kimberly. It's losing its mind. That's what happens when you go through menopause. Oh, Pam, just wait. Just wait. You youngins. I'm they say, postmenopausal. Well, I'm way past menopausal. So anyway, but Kristen said, LOL, I'm trying to have the surgery. What surgery? Youngins. How old are you, Mrs. G? You're in your 50s. Aren't you still in your 50s? Might be later, but you're still in your 50s. Whippersnappers. Hysterectomy. Ooh, Kristen. Wow. 58. That's what I thought. 58. Pam said, I hear you, Rhonda. Hopefully it's all uphill, downhill from here. Doesn't have to be. If you ask me what would be the most important thing or advice for me, I would tell you strength training. Get you some free weights, do a workout. Little bitty, doesn't have to be any big grandiose thing, just a small workout. I use 10-pound weights. I do 10 reps each, and that's about it. It's all about how you live. That's true, a lot of it, but man, I'm grateful that I've strength trained for a long time, and it's been almost a year since I saw that podcast that Mel Robbins had. What is her name? Dr. Sims, and she had these talk about arms. Woof. She was talking about when you get older, you need to lift heavier and do less reps. And of course, I was using 5 pounds, doing 30 reps, and just had been there and just thought I'm just maintaining. And I tell you what, that's great. That's great, Pam. So, and they have, I've never really had anybody say too much about my arms. It's always been my legs, been real muscly. But um, since I've done that, I need to go up. I need to go buy me some 15s. I got 20 pounds. I can't imagine lifting 20 pounds, but I should probably go up to 15. I saw another thing on her, and she was saying if you need to increase, just do that and only do as many as you can, and then do the rest of the 10 with the weights you've been used to. What a novelty idea. Thinking if I can't do 10 with 15-pound weights, 10 reps. So anyway, well, it's been almost an hour, and we have discussed whatever tonight, whatever came up, whatever was tossed around. And it's been a lot of different things, which is normal for my lives, and I love it. So I hope each and every one of you have a great rest of their week and a good weekend. And I will give you all a report about my ladies retreat next Wednesday night. Good night, or whatever come up. That's right, Mrs. G. And usually that's what we do. We just talk about whatever, even poop. I had to say it. Poop had not been mentioned tonight, and now it has. So I love y'all, and y'all have a great rest of your week. And I'm leaving Friday at 11 o'clock is blast off. We'll get home anywhere from 3 to 5 o'clock on Sunday. Not sure. So, yes. So I will catch y'all. Let's see. What my daddy used to say. My daddy used to say, see you in the funny papers, and y'all be you on purpose. Bye.